Alright, hello everybody. Hello, and welcome. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully you are doing well. I am doing well. Of course, I am Darkside Phil, and welcome to today's gameplay stream. Only one for today. However, this week is going to be jam-packed full of multiple streams for the majority of the week. Pretty much every day I'll be doing at least one, if not two gameplay streams. One day I'm doing a marathon. It's a pretty crazy week this week. Today's kind of the last slow day, and I'll be honest with everyone here. What is today? Monday, September 28th. Today is probably going to be the last slow day for gaming until sometime in December. And I mean late December. I certainly mean that. There's that much going on with gaming right now. That there's going to be so many new releases. There's going to be so much going on that I doubt I'm going to have any opportunity to really, sit back and maybe take a day without a stream. With a couple exceptions, there's one particular day in October that I'm planning right now. It's going to be like one of the Saturdays in October that Leanna and I are going to do some fall-related stuff. There's actually a local farm that has like a pumpkin patch and a corn maze and stuff like that, and we haven't really done anything like that locally at all since we moved here. So we're planning on checking that out one day in October. And then by the end of the year, what we're planning on doing, since we didn't get to do it for Leanna's birthday because I was sick, we're planning on possibly taking a staycation in Seattle. We actually did this last year, but just driving into the city of Seattle and maybe spending like 2 or 3 days there, depending on the time frame and everything going on with work or whatever, right? Everything going on with gaming at the time. But maybe doing like a mini staycation in the city of Seattle, and checking out what they have there for like the holidays, because that's another thing we didn't do last year. We didn't really check out what is going on around here for Christmas time, because we knew that my parents were going to be visiting, and that was kind of our focus. Now we kind of can say, okay, I wonder what's going on around here since we have no visitors this year. So, outside of those two things, which is literally like a couple days, we have so many game releases coming out that we're just going to be so busy. Boom, 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 boom. And it's going to be tough because I know I'm going to be trying to balance all the game releases with trying to review the games, which unfortunately, takes time away from me being able to, play and stream the games. And also, other stuff like, for example, Patreon stuff. If I'm going to be doing Patreon marathons and stuff like that, that's going to take away from me playing the game. So it's going to be challenging, but we do it every year, right? Every year we do it. My goal this year is to try to not juggle too many games at once. That was my downfall last year. If you remember, in late 2014, the problem that I had was that I decided to play too many games at the same time, and because I did that, I didn't play enough of the games people wanted to see when they wanted to see them. And because of that, unfortunately, a lot of people fell off of the playthroughs. Games like Dragon Age and Fallout, excuse me. Can you tell what's on my mind, what I'm looking forward to? What was it, Far Cry 4? Games like that where they were really extended, longer playthroughs. Because I wasn't playing the games, every day or 2 days, it was taking me upwards of a week to play them. That, I wasn't really putting in enough time, and people kind of got either annoyed or they didn't want to wait. I don't want to do that this year. I want to try to focus on maybe 2 games at a time, if 3 at the most, so that I can really get through all the good stuff coming out this gaming season. Now, unfortunately, that means that there's going to be some sacrifices, admittedly, okay? And what I mean by that is there's going to be stuff that I maybe originally wanted to do that I'm not going to be able to do, or that maybe at this point it doesn't make sense to do. I'll give you some examples here. Coming up in October, one of the games that I had said that I really wanted to play this year was Rock Band 4. But being that I've already had massive amounts of issue this year with false copyright strikes, the last thing I want to do is play Rock Band 4 and get my videos all flagged for music, and then my channel gets shut down. So I'm erring on the side of caution here, and unfortunately, it is what it is. I'm doing the safe thing, and I'm probably not going to be playing Rock Band. I definitely want to play at least one RPG style game, but being that there's Disgaea 5, Tales of Zestiria, and there's another one too coming out. There's like 3 coming out within a month that are all kind of longer JRPGs. I don't know which one I'm going to play, and I don't know how much time I'm going to have, along with all the other games and new releases coming out, you know? In addition, there's some other stuff that I'm thinking of doing, but I don't know when I'm going to do it. For example, I'd like to play Yoshi's Woolly World, but I don't know when I'm going to play it, because it is going to be a game that's already been worldwide released since June, so anyone who really wanted to see a playthrough of it probably already has seen it. It'll be something that I'm going to do co-op with Leanna eventually, but I don't know when I'm going to do it, especially because I'll be caught up with all the other games. You know, do I want to take time to start playing that? You know what I mean? So maybe that'll be something that I hold off on and we play later on. So there's already a few things right there. Now, I haven't even gone into super detail. I'm just saying, just off the top of my head in the month of October, some things that I'm probably going to have to sacrifice, or at least delay until I have time to do them. Because there's that much going on. There's that much going on in the month of October, okay? So today's kind of the last day where we're not inundated with these new releases. So today I said, what should I do? And I was looking for a few different things to do. I had a few options in mind. And the bottom line is I didn't want to start anything brand new that was like a constant playthrough, because that would be really silly for me to do that. You know what I mean? Let me start a new game playthrough when I really don't have a lot of time. It wouldn't make sense. I don't want to have another game lingering, especially with all the games I just finished this past week. FYI, this past week I finished Fallout New Vegas, Mad Max, Metal Gear Solid 5, Soma, and The Godfather co-op playthrough from the summer. I finished 5 games this past week. So if you want to see the conclusions to any of those playthroughs, they're all live on DSPGaming right now, and you can check them out. So, yeah, I definitely didn't want to start up another thing just to have it kind of be in limbo, you know what I mean? So I do want to say special thanks, because there were a bunch of people. It was actually at this point about 5 different people who all offered to send me a beta code to play this Rainbow Six Siege beta. And one person did send it, and unfortunately his code didn't work. But then someone else sent it on Twitter. Their code did work, and I did publicly thank them on Twitter. I apologize because the name is eluding me right now. But I did publicly thank them on Twitter. And a couple other people sent me them after, but, you know, unfortunately I already had one. So we're going to be doing that today. We're going to be doing about 2.5 hours. Or, I guess I should say, we're going to be doing as much as we can get in within 2.5 hours of Rainbow Six Siege beta gameplay, because I've heard that it is incredibly difficult to get into a match. Like, not even joking, you could sit around and wait for almost forever to try to get into a match, and some people have had tons of issue trying to get into matches of this game. And that sucks. I mean, let's face it, that really sucks. I wish that wasn't the case, but hey, it's a beta. If anything, let's hope that they're learning from that, you know what I mean? Let's hope that they're actually taking the data from this beta, which is the purpose of a beta, by the way. And that you could, or they could upgrade or improve the matchmaking so that it actually works when the game is released. If you remember, this game is actually supposed to be released on October 13th, and it was delayed until December. I think probably because this could be one of the issues. They didn't have the matchmaking fixed in yet, you know what I mean? Maybe that's why they wanted to delay it and then do this beta, which makes sense, in my opinion. I'm okay with that. So we're going to be doing that for around 2.5 hours on this first stream. Second stream tonight does not exist. There's no second stream tonight. Instead, I'm going to be working on the Soma review. Okay? I'll be reviewing Soma, which I just finished 2 days ago. And I actually filmed it already. I just haven't had a chance to actually edit it and put it together. So tonight I'll be editing and releasing the Soma review. And that'll be the final review that I release for a bit here. Okay? After that, you know, I'm going to be busy with new releases all week. Okay? So 2 quick things that I want to mention before we get started, because we're going to get started shortly. The first thing I want to mention, which you might already notice if you're on the pre-stream already, is that my stream is having a little bit of issue. I've noticed it this past week. My internet is fluctuating a bit, and it's weird because it's flaky. Sometimes it fluctuates and clears up immediately. so you don't even notice it on the stream. Sometimes it flakes up for a little bit longer, so the stream gets a little choppy, but then it levels out. And then other times I've streamed for 3+ hours and it didn't happen at all. It seems to be very weird. And I don't know why it's doing that. I have no control over it. It's not, by the way, it's not a DDoS attack. I want to make that clear. If I was being DDoS attacked, my internet would be completely crapping out. So I know that it's definitely not a DDoS attack or anything like that. It's got to be something with the internet lines around here. And, you know, I had the same issue back in June. I had my cable company out here testing and fixing all the lines. And now it seems like this issue is creeping up again. The good news is that it's not a huge issue. It's not ruining the streams or whatever. It's just a little bit of an annoyance. If you do notice that the stream is locking up, if you do notice that the stream seems to be desynced audio-wise, all right? Some people have been saying that the past couple of days, that the stream seemed to be desyncing. Try refreshing your stream. Try, you know, either clicking out, completely closing out and reloading the stream, or, you know, try something, because people have been saying that seems to work, okay? Again, I apologize. I wish that this wasn't happening. I can see it right now. It's actually happening as I'm talking on the pre-stream. It's out of my control. You know, I've lived on the East Coast. I've lived on the West Coast. I've lived everywhere, and there's been tons of issues no matter where I live. Internet is not consistent in the United States of America. It just isn't. You know, and right now I'm living in a technology hotbed. I'm living in Seattle. It's a technology hotbed in the United States, and the internet is still flaky. So maybe one day it'll be better. Right now, we just got to put up with the nonsense. All right, keep in mind, if the stream becomes unwatchable for whatever reason for you, I am recording these videos, and they will be uploaded to DSPGaming, my YouTube channel, immediately following the conclusion of this stream. Okay? And the last thing that I'll say, I've been talking about this the past few days. I talked about it on Twitter this morning. I'll very briefly explain the situation. My Patreon account, patreon.com/DarksidePhil, is a way for someone who enjoys my content on a daily basis. You really like the fact that I do daily streams. You like my daily videos. You like the effort I'm putting into my reviews. You like all the improvements I've done this year. The fact that I've went outside the box and played a lot of games like Persona and Minecraft that normally I wouldn't have normally played. Okay? Patreon is a way for you to go the extra mile as a viewer, where you can pledge some money, and by pledging you get some cool personal perks, and you can contribute towards larger goal levels. The goal level for September is $1,250 of funding, and if we hit that, I'm going to take a whole day out on Halloween next month to do a horror movie marathon. Not horror movie, excuse me. A horror game marathon. And those who pledge $5 or more will be able to nominate and vote on what games I'll be playing during that day. And I was mentioning this earlier this week because the reason is I kind of took it for granted that we were going to hit that goal level. And then all of a sudden, a few days ago, some people who had made large pledges in the month of August kind of lowered those pledge amounts. And I said, oh crap, well, as of right now, we're actually not going to hit that goal. And we're not going to be able to do that marathon. So I brought it up the other day saying, you know, FYI, it's my fault. I kind of took it for granted. But, you know, if you've been thinking of pledging, please pledge so that we can maybe do this cool Halloween marathon. And unfortunately, you know, some idiots took it upon themselves to jump on there and do fake pledges on my Patreon account. In the past 2 days, I've gotten upwards of 7+ huge pledges on Patreon. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, I can now confirm that they are fake. Because, unfortunately, some of these idiots posted publicly on Twitter, on comments on Google. They're pretty stupid. But they posted up saying, oh, we got Phil, we trolled him, har har har. He's going to be so mad when he thinks that those funds are coming through and they're not. The thing is, I'm not stupid. I wasn't born yesterday, and I know that all of a sudden I wasn't going to get hundreds of dollars out of nowhere of patron funding. Like, that's so unlikely, you know? The problem, though, is that some of them might be legit. And unfortunately, Patreon does not discern between someone who's really going to pledge and is just pretending to pledge. The only way to know is to wait for the first week of October when Patreon tries to charge those pledges. So, let's be honest. Worst or best case scenario, if they all go through, it's amazing. If all those pledges go through, not only are we going to be having a horror game marathon in October, but we're also going to be basically funding the entire camera. I'm looking to raise extra funds this year to buy a new camera for vlogging and for certain series. So, if these pledges do go through, that's awesome news. However, I don't think that the pledges are real. And like I said, especially because we've got people who are actually posting up saying, haha, I trolled Phil. I don't think they're legit, and I think that unfortunately what's going to happen is, you see right now, if you actually check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/darksidefil, it says I have over $1,600 of funding. It's complete horseshit. Right now, I doubt that I barely even have $1,200 of funding. There's several $100s there that are phony. And it sucks because, you know, now we don't even know. How many are legit, how many aren't? How do we even know how close we are to the goal? There's no way to judge or to even gauge until after the first week of October. So, I'll leave it at this. Alright? I'll leave it at this. If you've been thinking about pledging to my Patreon, if you want to possibly nominate and vote on horror games for the Halloween event, and if you want to see that Halloween event happen, consider pledging at patreon.com/darksidefil. If you want to get in on that nomination process, you have to pledge $5. Okay? FYI. And we'll see what happens. There's 3 days left. Today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Those are the final days that you can pledge to my September Patreon. And I do want to say thank you to those of you who are legit. I really do. Because there's a lot of people who are legit, and there's no way for me to discern. It's a pretty, how can I say it? It's certainly not a troll-free service or protected service, Patreon. It's very bad in that regard. It's like, let's set up this business, but let's not have any kind of future-proofing it or even thinking about people who would want to mess with people. It was funny because I tweeted about this morning, and one of my my Twitter followers responded and said, yeah, I actually have a friend who's an artist who paints stuff. And he's got the same problem. He's got these people who think that they're funny, and they come and they make these huge pledges saying, oh, please paint this for us, and, you know, we'll pledge this amount. And then he goes to do it, and the pledge doesn't go through. It's fucked up. You know, for me at least, Patreon is like a supplementary income. But there's people who use Patreon as their primary fucking income. It's a screwed up service, man. You can pledge whatever. It's really messed up. Pledging whatever and then, you know, not having to come through with it. Really annoying. But, alright, so that is it, everyone. That's it for the pre-stream. It looks like we got a decent amount of people on stream. Awesome. Now, I will say this as well, because now we're going to get started. No more advertisement from me. Again, if the stream fluctuates, I apologize. I am seeing jumps in my internet. I hope that most of you are not experiencing any choppiness in the stream, but if you do, I apologize. I can't help it. But the other thing is, if we can't get a match, if we really just can't get a match going, I am not against doing maybe some Q&A with the stream chat and just shooting the shit with you guys and gals today. This is my only stream scheduled for today, and I have nothing else to fill it if this doesn't work. So I'd rather use the time to give back and just have fun with you, rather than waste it. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. All right, everyone, that's it for the pre-stream. I'll end it. We'll jump in. We'll see what happens with this Rainbow Six Siege beta, and we'll go from there. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I appreciate you being here on the stream. And without further ado, let's get the show on the road. Here we go.